Hi, this is Anthony. Welcome back to my show. Remember, I'm not a stock analyst nor a financial advisor, just somebody interested in the stock market. I've been paying attention to it since 1987 when I was in high school, and the market dropped 22% in one day, and that got me interested in studying about it. Unfortunately, I didn't buy back then. But I do a lot of videos on my channel about stock market investing, as well as other things like unsolved mysteries and things like that. Anyway, I do watch a lot of other content creators' videos, and some of them are cringy. There's a lot, even if 90% of what they say is wrong or not relevant or junk, sometimes you get a couple good ideas. So I do watch, what other people have to say. I try to go into each one with an open mind. Yesterday, I started seeing a bunch in my feed on the right hand side about SCHD. That's the Schwab High Dividend Fund. Very, very popular, one of the biggest dividend focused funds. So, this person, Harry's Financial Fitness, hadn't seen his channel before. Not really impressed with it. Anytime you watch anybody, including me, anybody, think to yourself, is what this person's saying correct? Do the numbers really match reality? It's so easy to go out and find information using AI. Um, so, if you're going to watch somebody and listen to what they say, think about it very critically. A lot of people have, a course that they're trying to sell. I'm not trying to sell anything. And if you look at my videos, a lot of them have 5 views, unfortunately. I used to do videos on other subjects and they get a lot of views, but I'm really interested in trying to help people become long term investors with a well diversified portfolio. And so I'm not selling anybody anything. My channel is no longer monetized. It used to be. And I wasn't making much money then. I think the first month I was monetized, I made $132, and then the next month it was $6, and then it got demonetized, and I didn't even get that. But think about what it is. Are they just genuinely trying to help you, or do they have some type of agenda? Are they selling you something, or they not selling you something, but their information is faulty, perhaps? Anyway, um, halfway through, they're given this chart. They're arguing that the dividends, not the dividend yield, but the increase year on year in the SCHD is 10%. These numbers don't really match up, but they're pretty close. But anyway, um, let's take a look at Schwab Dividend Equity ETF. So this is like a mutual fund, but it trades throughout the market day. Um, let's see what it's doing today. The market just closed about 2 minutes ago. It was down about 0.75%. So it's down on the day. 5 days it's down. 1 month it's down. When I think a lot of things are probably up. Everything's up the past 6 months, but it's only up 5% past 6 months. Year to date, you're down when a lot of things are up. 1 year, so 52 weeks, it's down. Remember, the whole purpose of investing in the stock market is to make more money than you start out with in total returns, which includes price appreciation, which you see on charts like this, as well as any dividend that it pays. Now, it doesn't show anything here, but of course it does pay a dividend. We'll get to that in a minute. And there's a lot of people who think, oh, well, I'm getting 5%, but you've lost 7.74%, so you're really down 2% or 3%. People don't understand that when they're dividend investors. 5 years, you're up 35%. That's not too bad, but not really great. And max, if you'd go back to 2011, which is what, 14 years. You're up 212%. Then let's go here. So I asked the question, what's the historic total return of SCHD compared with the total return of just the S&P 500? This is not even comparing against the NASDAQ 100, but the S&P 500, okay? And it says, and of course, I have not verified these numbers. I'm sure that they're correct. I haven't verified them. AI sometimes does a great job, and other times it's all garbled and junk. But this is what it says. Over the last decade, the S&P 500 has had a higher total return than SCHD, with annualized returns of about 14.6%. So that's price appreciation plus dividends, compared to SCH's 11.3%. However, SCH has historically shown lower volatility and smaller drawdowns, particularly during market downturns, and its performance relative to the S&P 500 can vary significantly depending on the specific time period analyzed. And that's important to remember. If you're in a bull market and you're only looking back 5 years, then whatever chart you're looking at could be going up. You go back 10 years and you could find that overall that particular stock or ETF has lost half of its value, or 90% of its value in some cases. Okay, performance by time period. The 10-year annualized total return of the S&P 500 is approximately 14.6%. And again, this is including dividends, versus SCHD of approximately 11.3%. 1 year total return, the S&P 500, according to this, is up 15.8%, versus the SCHD, which is down 3.1%. Remember, I just pointed that out on the other chart. So based on what I saw and just told you, this looks accurate. And year to date, which is January 2nd to October 16th, roughly, total return of the S&P 500 is 14%, versus the SCHD, which is approximately 1.2%. So there's a lot of people out there that think that they're getting rich on SCHD. If you would have put your money in the S&P 500, you would have made more money. And even though there's like a 3% difference here, if it's annualized, that's 3% each year. So over 3 years, you would have made 10% more roughly in the S&P 500 than in SCHD, and so on. So I'm going to end here pretty soon. Let's take a look here. 5 years, SCHD is up 35. Let's look at SPY, the S&P 500. Oops. Okay. 90% in 5 years. And that's not including your dividends. So 35% versus 90%. I think it's clear that there are many other things, including fairly safe S&P 500, that beats Schwab's high dividend fund. I'm going to end it here. Leave a comment, hit like, hit subscribe. I read all the comments. I really do appreciate them, and eventually I respond to them. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Check out my other videos.